Evening class today. Tonight we're going to work on chapter 4, lesson 2, day 1. So we'll break this assignment into 2 days as well. Lesson objective: I can write equivalent fractions and I can write ratios in simplest form. So equivalent ratios show the same comparisons of numbers and quantities. The example here is you have 8 red marbles and you have 12 blue. How could we order these in pairs to get another number that would equal 8 to 12? Well, if you broke these into pairs, into twos, you could do that. Well, let's get a color here. 2, 2, 2, and 2. That would be how many pairs of 2? 4. And well, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, which gives us 6. So 8 to 12s would be the same as saying 4 to 6. It would make them equivalent. And how do we know that? If we take the number 8 over 12, (8 to 12), we can write it like this way, so it looks like a fraction. And now over here we got, is it equal to 4 over 6? No. Let's see here. This number is getting smaller, which means we're going to divide. 8 divided by what gives me 4? That would be 2. 12 divided by what gives me 6? Well, that would be 2. If these numbers are the same, then it's equivalent. If the numbers are not the same, then it is not equivalent. What is the ratio of pencils to erasers? So just to get us back in the habit of doing ratios, pencils to erasers. So if we count the number of pencils, we're looking at 10. Number of erasers would be 20. We can write ratios in simplest form by using the GCF, just like we do with fractions, using the ladder method. So if we got 50 and 20, they're both even, we divide by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 25 and 10 can both be reduced by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So if we divide them both by that, we would get 5 to 2. So 50 to 20 can be reduced to 5 to 2. Let's practice. So we got 12 and we got 64. So 12 and 64, they're both even. Once again, if you know a number that you can see that goes into both of them, go for it. It doesn't have to start with 2. I just like to start with 2 because it makes my numbers smaller. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 64 divided by 2 is 32. Both even again, can divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 32 divided by 2 is 16. That's in simplest form. So my new ratio is 3 to 16. 7 and 21. By 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Can't get any smaller than that. So my reduced ratio is 1 to 31. Just like fractions, you're not going to be able to reduce every single ratio. Some ratios will already be in simplest form. State if the ratios are equivalent. This is like if we go back to that first page. And I showed you, where was it? It was somewhere. Oh, here. All the way to the first page, Paul, way to go. So just like that, we're going to do this to compare to see if they are equivalent or not. So I'm going to write my first number down, and this time I like to do it like this. So I like my numbers to be like that, so I can put the other one across from it. 25 and 30. I'm going to switch to a different color here. So I asked myself, this number is getting bigger, so something times 5 equals 25. What times 5 gives me 25? That would be 5. And something times 6 gives me 30, which would be 5. These numbers are the same, so these are equivalent ratios. 3 to 4. And 9 to 6. So 3 times something gives me 9. I like to ask the question out loud. It's okay to ask yourself out loud. It helps you think. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times something gives me 6. That would be 1.5. 1.5 and 3 are not the same. So this would not, they would not be equivalent. No, negative. 2 and 7. 121. So once again, just don't be afraid to ask yourself all out. 2 times something gives me 4. Be 2. 7 times something gives me 21. That's 3. 2 and 3 are not the same, so this would be no, negative. Not equivalent. 3 to 4. And we're going to compare it to 12 to 16. So something times, remember this number is getting bigger. How do you know if you're multiplying or dividing? Well, if the number is getting bigger, you're multiplying. If the number is getting smaller, you're dividing. 3 times what gives me 12? That would be 4. 4 times what gives me 16? That would be 4. These are equivalent. Yes, they are. So tomorrow in class, we'll work through this, page 138, 1 to 15, get a good night's sleep, bring your materials, and be ready to work. Good night.